one day I'ma make nothing for something. I know one day I'ma make it out the darkness. I know one day they gon' leave me when I'm falling. I know one day, I know one day, I know one day I'ma make nothing for something. I know one day I'ma make it out the darkness. I know one day they gon' leave me when I'm falling. I know one day, I know one day.
Today, D.C. police were searching the Anacostia River and its banks. We're at the first shooting scene. A 16-year-old shot with a shotgun.
Police say he was grazed in the head during a running gun battle in the middle of the day by 3 suspects.
I started going through situations where I noticed that God was real after the DC house. Like I recently got jumped and stuff like that, but that was way after I got introduced to the DC house and stuff. So it was like, the fact that I made it through that situation, I instantly thought about God. I'm like, I'm still breathing off this jump. You hear me? I'm like, oh, I could have just, like my whole side of my face was on swole. Like, I'm telling you, I could have been beat to it. I was as bad as I was fighting for my life. I could have like passed out. I could have slipped into a coma or something. Like a lot of things could have occurred that night, but God really like had my hand like, you're gonna fight these people, you're gonna stand up for yourself. And that's exactly what I had in my head. I'm like, man, if it's my time to die, I'ma die. If it's not, then I'm still gonna walk like I'ma walk, you know what I'm saying?
I have a great relationship with the girls here. Those are my little sisters. Like, we don't have a mother-daughter relationship. We have a sister relationship, and that big sister, little sister bond is really tight. And I think I can relate with a lot of them because they went to Kramer Middle School, I went to Kramer Middle School. They go to Anacostia, I went to Anacostia. We have a lot of things in common, and I just understand them in a way that they don't know themselves yet. Like, I've been there, I've done that, you know? So I think the relationships comes in just being relatable. They know that, I walk around with them when we go serve and we're giving food out to the homeless. I know everybody, this is my neighborhood, this is where I was born, this is where I was raised. So just that familiarity for them, just somebody who actually lived this life, walked these streets, struggled the same struggles as them.
I'm saying, by the house of DC being, it's a good thing for the neighborhood now. Because back in the day, this neighborhood was off the hook. You know what I'm saying? It's good. It's a good thing for, the kids don't grow up the way we grew up. You know what I'm saying? It's better, you go do your homework, and we didn't have none of this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if we had this when we was growing up, a lot of us wouldn't have been in the predicament we was in.
Initially, when I came on staff, the relationship part of it was very difficult. There were opportunities where I was very much so thinking about exiting. Didn't think that it was meant for me to be down here, but I stayed the course and I stayed committed. Colossians 3:23 is one of my favorite passages. It says, whatsoever you do, do it with all your heart unto the Lord and not unto men. So that's kind of like my mantra or whatever that I live by, and the scripture that I live by. And I just stayed. And kids want to see consistency. They want to see that you committed. They want to see that you authentic. They want to see that you actually care to be there.
I've never been on a vacation. I'm 28 years old and I've never been on a vacation. This is my hood, born and raised. We don't get vacations. We don't get out of this. This is out every single day, Monday through Sunday. So being able to open their eyes so that they can see that they have a chance can actually make them want to try. Because right now, looking around, all they got is dead bodies, dirt, and people who's coming in trying to take their home away and not having a clue of where they're about to go, where their family is being moved to. They're not in control of their life. and I'm sure that they feel that they have no control over what's going on or what's going to happen. But if we're able to create these opportunities, they can start to, broaden their thinking, like, wow, I don't have to do this. I can actually be in control. I can go to school. I can get good grades. I can start applying it. I can be in control. Like, this is possible. But they just don't see that as being possible right now. So that's our biggest thing. And by donating and giving us funds and continuing to just give us love and support is what's our way of getting them on board. It's our way of getting them closer to Christ.
My name is Keith Kelly. I started going to the House DC 2004. I heard about the House DC in Kramer when I was in middle school, and a guy named Steve Fisher used to play for the Broncos. He came and did a speech at my middle school, and his presentation was so funny, and it was just very engaging. He had us involved and everything. And then at the end of it, he told us about a youth program that he run right across the street called the House DC. And I wanted to really go to it, but I couldn't because I was in 8th grade, and it made me sad. But you best believe when I got to 9th grade, I couldn't wait to come to the House DC.
Before I came to the DC House, my relationship with God was more so in confusion type of state, because I was in the thought, is he real? Is there really a God? And is me praying gonna really do something for my struggle? Because I'm not seeing it. But I went through a couple situations, and Miss Brittany and Miss Andrea pray for me, and I feel it. I can't even explain that feeling, because it's certain things meant for you. What's meant for you is meant for you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna really understand what you feel with God, but unless they felt it by themselves in their own situation.
We had some issues with some of our young people, and they were being very disrespectful, and there was a group of young people that were Muslim. And we said, hey, listen, we love you, we want you to come here, but you've got to follow our rules. And so there were some that just wasn't going to follow the rules. And so we had to kick out a group of young people, and they begged us to stay. And so we said, okay, you can stay if you follow the rules. And there was this one guy in particular, and he was always very quiet, and he was very distant, and he would never talk to you, never really look at you in the face. And so we allowed him to stay, and so he stayed. And so I remember him going on a retreat, and he gave his life to Christ. And this young man, his entire demeanor changed. I mean, he would always seek me out. The moment I came outside, and I was around, he would come and he'd want to talk to me. And he was so proud when he made honor roll for the first time. And it's just such a special memory to see this young man go from, just this despair and I don't want to talk to anybody, and I don't want to have a relationship, to seeking out somebody like me and wanting to talk and wanting to share, wanting to hear about what they wanted to do and how he wanted to go to college. And that was just a fond memory that I have of one of our young people.
You want to say a prayer with food? I know a lot of people in the room are hungry. We've already held up lunch for a little bit, dinner for a little bit. So we're going to say a prayer with food. We can get everybody to bow their heads. Thank you very much.
One of the most powerful things that we do at the House DC is when we take kids out of the city and we go to a retreat. And so this young man, this is actually where we got close, and it broke. We went to a retreat. I think it was to a place called Summit Lake. We went up there, and that whole time he was on my team. And so it wasn't even intentional. It was just random. He was on my team. And we had to do something competitive, and I just kept encouraging him. Yo, you can do this, you can do this. And it was just so funny. We shared moments like that together that kind of brought us together. It was some team building activities. It was times where I could just let him see me and encourage him to see himself and to see what I saw in him, potential I saw in him, and because of that, I think that we were able to garner a relationship that was different from what it was before that retreat where we were at the house, where spiritually he heard some things at the retreat, and in the middle, on the last day, the last morning of the retreat, I do this thing called a wrap up, and Andrea Counts was on staff at that time, and we were both standing there, and all the kids were gathered around in a circle. And in the middle of me doing the wrap up, we about to hop on a bus or whatever, gather our stuff. I say, I'm gonna pray. I want to pray for y'all. So all the kids grab their hands, they bow their heads. We begin to pray, and everybody's quiet. And then I hear this, oh my gosh, and it was him. And he looked down, and we all looked up like, yo, what's going on? And he said, hey Joe, I think God just trying to get my attention. He trying to give me a sign.
But me in my situation, when I got pistol whipped and stuff, I like made it through that situation. I believed that there was a God. When I almost lost my brother and he made it through his tough situation, like I believed that there was a God, because them times, like I was praying like no other. Like I wasn't on my knees, and you know what I'm saying, but I was praying like every day. Like it was not a time where I wasn't reaching out. But when I came to the DC house, I really had a chance to like connect more so, because I got it from other people's perspectives. Everybody got to share their situation and their time that they met when they found out that God was real, and it was like, it was giving me chills talking about it. Like I'm like, really?
In their mind is because they haven't seen anything. They stay in their hood, and their hood is not DC. It's not they stay in Washington DC or they know Washington DC. No, their street. They're limited to their street. That's why you see liquor store on this corner, liquor store on that corner, liquor store on that corner. Each hood has their own liquor store that they have to go to, their own corner store. You can't just go walk into any liquor store. So all they see is from block A to block B, school and House DC. We got to show them more. We got to be able to give them experiences. We got to let them see that it's real stuff out there. I had no idea about some of the stuff that was out there. So many foods that I've never tried. I've never tried meatloaf. Everybody's like, Brittany, you never had meatloaf? No. I had Salisbury steaks, oodles and noodles. That's it. So, you know, it's just a different world that we live in. We live in this very small community, and we're confined to our block, and we have to get them out of there. But we can't we can't do this easily. This is going to take a partnership. This is going to take donors. This is going to take believers. This is going to take just the whole community coming together to help us, you know, get to where we're trying to get them.
Our donors, what they don't realize is that some of them, they'll make a contribution. And there are times that as I'm looking through, and even though I don't do the bookkeeping, and God just puts on my heart to just thank this donor who just wrote me a note saying, you know, I'm a single mom and I can only give $15. Or someone else who shocks me with a check for $10,000 or $20,000. And I just sit there and I pray and I thank God so much that He has put on the heart of this individual, this person, to want to give. And so I'm incredibly grateful. And each year I try to send out Christmas cards, and sometimes I'm able to send a little note. And what people need to understand is that that's sincere. That's from my heart. I am touched by the desire for you, even though you may be out in the suburbs or you're not nearby, or you could be in California. We've got donors that are in California and Florida and all over. But even though you may not be nearby, that you want to make a difference, that you care about the poor. And so we don't look at these checks, and when I see them come through, and then there's some donors who will send me an encouraging note. And my assistant always lets me read everything that comes through. And it'll be so encouraging, and it'll just be at the right time. And so what you need to know is we value everything that you do. your prayers. We value your financial support. And we just hope that you not only continue, but that you share it with others as well. And I just want to say, and I've said this in some of my writings, that we really, truly are thankful. We feel blessed. And I love this. You know, we always are wishing people a peace that passes all understanding. And for our donors who have just been there, and whether they're new or no matter how long they've been, I mean, you can just really see the commitment. And I love what one of our donors said to me. We were having lunch, and they were just having a real difficult time in their life. And we weren't talking about the house. You know, I just wanted to hear what was happening with them. And I knew that things were tough with them. And I care. You know, I don't look at what we get as, oh, thank you, and we've got a check. I care about our donors, and I pray, and I thank God for you. But I remember talking to this one person, and we were having lunch, and they were just really having a personal tough time in their life. And I just said, well, if there's something good, you know, that has come up, or something that you're excited about, you know, in addition to your family, I said, you know, what else? What gives you joy? And I just wanted them to smile and think about something that was pleasant, you know, just to kind of take their mind off of what was happening in their life at that time. And they said something that just really, it didn't really surprise me. It did, and then it didn't, but it was very humbling. They said, my involvement with the house, being able to give to you guys monthly, being able to give to the house, that is what I consider one of the most rewarding things I've been able to do.